guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel Ultimate Knife Search. Today is about knives, Work Tough Gear knives and rust. I have seen on Work Tough Gear Adventure team there are many who are post knives who they ask the question, how can we prevent rust, and if we get rust, how can we take it away? This is not only a Work Tough Gear knife, but it's about every knife you have. But I think, as the question has asked many times in the Work Tough Gear Adventure team, I will make this, what can you say, rust problem. It's about Work Tough Gear knives. No matter what knife you have, even if it's 5160 high polish steel, or a Work Tough Gear knife who has this edge finish on it, or if it is painted black, or even if it is a inox nitro B steel, is some kind of rust-free steel. This will also rust, guys. Every steel will rust. You can say, if you have to be a little bit nerdy about this, I will say that you can say somehow steel is a living material. It will rust no matter how you do it, if you are gun blue it, or if you are etching, or if you are, but in all that matter you can say, if you are gun bluing some steel, is as a little bit not so easy to rust. But there are three simple things I have done in my 30 years when I have a knife collection, and I will show you that, guys, and that's easy. First of all, every time when I come home, I will show you later here in the video, when I come home I clean my knives every time I have been in the forest. So you can say, no matter if it is a everyday carrying EDC knife, or if it is a knife you use once as a year, you have to and somehow take care of them. So the best way to prevent rust is to use your knife. If you use your knife, what can you say, every day, you can say every time you use your knife, you take some of that, what can you say, upper coating of rust off, because when you use it, you will take this off. But if you are like me, who have many knives in my collection, I cannot use my knife every single day, and even if I could, you will have to take care of them anyway. So you can say, yes, let's start to say, you need three things to take care of your knives. If your knife don't have rust on it yet, and you come home from out of a hike, or you just been around the house and use your knife, or you just go out in the garden and use your knife for fun, when you come in and where you want to take your knife to be, first, when you come in from the outside, that's almost here when I live in Scandinavia, is always warmer inside and is outside. So when you come, even if you don't use your knife outside, you just have with you, but you don't use your knife, when you came outside and go in, there will be a heat difference, a temperature difference. And that prevents some thing we can call, I don't know what you call it over there, but we call it condense. So when you are taking some steel and from cold to hot, you will get some, what can you say, kind of water on it. So if you let your knife be in the sheet, it will starting a process there, because when you come outside from it's cold and take it in when it's warm, it will prevent some kind of water on it. So already there, the process are in doing to get some rust on it, no matter what kind of steel you have. So the first thing I do when I come home from a hike, or use my knife outside, or just have to take my knife with me, I take it out of the sheet. So when I come home, I take it out of the sheet and lay it on the kitchen table for half an hour, 20 minutes or something, so the steel can get the same temperature as they are in the room. So you can say now, what if I don't have my knives inside? They are out in a sheet or something like that. So you don't have this what can I say, temperature different. But it's a little bit the same here, guys. You have to take care of it. So I will not say that the SK85 steel is very easy to rust, but if you take care of it, and that's simple, guys, you will never have rust on your blades. So first, when I come home, I take it out of the sheet and lay it for 20 minutes to get the same temperature who are in the room. And I make, if it is dirty, you can say, if I have really used it to beton with it, to really get something in the wood, because what can you say, the liquid who are in the wood are also, it can be both. It can be something who can prevent rust, but it can also do a rust process which will speed up on your steel. So when I come home, if I have used my knife to do some woodwork, I clean it. I will show when I'm talking finish here, I will show you how I do the whole process, and it is very easy. But I will just talk to you now about it, and I will show you later here. First, I take it out of the sheet, let it get the same temperature as they are in the room. And you think, oh, this is so much I have to do. No, when you come home, you are you will outpack. You will take your backpack in. You will take your shoes off. You will do that, and that's almost the time it will take to this steel to get the same temperature as you have in your house or room or whatever you have your knife in. I'll give it a good clean with some not hot water, but just water and dish soap, and I will dry it up. You can even take a cloth to dry it up, or you can take some compressed air. But when I have cleaned my knife, if I have really used it hard in the woods, this the most simple thing in the whole world. I take WD-40 and some paper, and I just spray WD-40 on the paper, and I give it a good soak in all the way around. And this is the only thing you have to do, is to soak your knife in with the WD-40 and a paper towel here. I have knives in my collection. There are maybe 2 or 3 years since I have ever used them for anything. So the same thing I do here without taking them out for a wash and dish soap. I take my knife out, what can you say, 4 times a year. I take my knives out of my, I got some big box I have my knife in, some of my knives in. I take them out 4 times a year to give them some new WD-40 with a paper towel, and I will clean them over and set them in again, and they will never rust. Even this knife here in 5160, I have used this a few times, but this is, we all know 5160, guys, it rusts easily. But I have done this every time with this Viking Warrior here, just WD-40 and a paper towel, and it will never rust. You have to do this 4 times a year. That's the only thing, guys, 4 times a year. And there's something more. When you take your knife out, you never used or a wall hanger or something, you get to feel the knife again, and you get to touch it, and you that's why you maybe that's also good. You take it out 4 times to just to feel the knife again and give it a quick clean up. I will say, guys, I have many knives, and when I do this, it will take maybe 1 hour and I'm finished. That's to take the longest time. It's not for me to give it some good soaking in the WD-40. No, it's time do I look at my knife. So yes, if you do that every time you come home from a hike or you have used your knife, you can do that. Sometimes if I have just light used my knives, I do not wash it up with water and dish soap. No, I just give it a quick clean with these two things here and put it back in my closet. I will say, guys, you can't, when you do this with the WD-40, you can put it back on the seat and let it sit. But if you have your knives in your seat, I will say you have to do this more than 4 times a year, because when you have something sitting in the seat, what can you say, mold on the steel, so it cannot get so air free, if you can say so. So the best way to keep your knives is take them out of the seat. And I have all my knives, maybe I have 2 knives that are in seat, the knife I use all the time, but all my knives are in the closet without the seat, and my seat are in a drawer. So but you can have your knives in your seat, and of course when you have something Kydex, that is better than leather, because leather will dry up your steel faster. So if you have a leather seat to your knife, you have to do this, I will say 1 a month you have to do this. If you have a knife in a Kydex seat, you can do this maybe you can go 2 months between you have to do this. But I will say, guys, no matter what, if you have your knife in your seat or if you have it out of your seat, take care of your knife. What can I say? Yeah, these 4-5 times a year, do this with your knife and you will not have a problem. And that's no matter what kind of steel you have. As I mentioned in the start on video, this is some type of what can I say, stainless steel, and I do this also with this knife, because if you don't do it, it will rust, I promise you. Yes, the next question is, what will you do if you already have some rust on your knives? And I have also tried that. Even if I do this 4 times a year, I can also have rust on a knife, and that can be some different what can I say, things to that, why the rust has come. That can way I have it too long in the seat, I have not been so good with the cleaning, or when I come home from something, I have used my knife, I forget to clean it up or something. You can have many things that can make rust on a knife, even if you take care of the knife. If I get some rust on the blade or anything else where the steel is, I have something like this. This is some kind of, what can you say, this is not steel wool, because this is a finer thing. This is about, I think this will maybe get to 1200 to 1400 sandpaper. So fine is this. So if I got some rust everywhere on the blade, no matter it's on the handle or it's in the blade or where else I'll get the rust, I take this some kind of steel wool here. This is more like, what can you say, some soft sandpaper, if you can say so. I don't know what you call it in English, but this is about I think 1200 grit. So I use this, and never water and never dry, these 2 things here. So if you got rust on your blade, you do like this on this steel wool here, and you will light brush on it until the rust are away. And so to say, why use WD-40 on this? That's because when you use this here, you will open the steel up. When you use something like this on steel, you open the steel up. As I mentioned in the start of the video, the steel are a living material and somehow. So when I use this, I open the steel up, and if you just take this away without using the WD-40, you will get rust faster than the other place on the blade. But if you use these two things here, WD-40 on this, and you will light rust, you will, what can you say, massage this into the steel. You will somehow massage this into the steel, and it will be as good as new. And you can use it everywhere, on the handle or under, or of course you have to be aware if you use it on the edge, you have not to make your knife dull. So yes, that's easy, guys. Easy. I have, what can I say, I just throw out a number. I have 300, 400, maybe 300 knives. I know I have one knife who had rust on it because I want to have rust on it because I think it looks awesome. But I have knives from my collection who are 30 years old and they have no rust on it because I do this 4 times a year if I don't use the knife, or if I use the knife, I do it every time I come home. Yes, I will show you now, guys, how I do the thing. Okay, guys, now I am coming home from, what can you say, a hiking trip, and I come outside. From the first I take my knife. This is the Work Tough Gear Wilson. This is the knife I have used recently outside. I take this off and lay it there. And this is only to get the steel the same temperature as they are in the room. Because when you come outside, all you know, guys who have glasses, you know, if you come outside and go in, you will get fog on your glasses because the temperature different. That's also the same case with the steel. So I'll lay this for 10-20 minutes or something to cool the steel down and let the steel get the same temperature, not cool it down, but let get the steel the same temperature as it are in the room. Yes, when it are laying for 10-15 minutes, 20 minutes, I will take some water on my brush, and I have one brush I use for this. Don't get the mix up with the brush your wife use, and she will she will kill you. So take a little bit of water. It can be cold, it can be warm, it can be something between. I have something between. And I will clean my knife. As you can see, guys, I am never going this way towards the edge. I am going away from the knife, from the edge. And you can give it a good clean up here. And the other way here. Always push to the edge. And you can clean it up. Also on the handle you can do different things. Yes. And you can. That's the only thing I do, guys. Not more than this you have seen here. I am so lucky I had compressed air. So I go outside and take compressed air to clean this up. But if you don't have, you can use a paper towel or something like this. And of course, be careful when you do this, because the Work Tough Gear Wilson is a badass sharp knife, so you have to be careful. Yes, I will say when you do something like this, that's why I like to use compressed air, because now I got some water into this groove here. But you can do this and you will take the water out. Yes, that has a good dry up now. And I take some paper like this, and I will say if you're not used to this, start doing it this outside, because if this WD-40 hits something else in the kitchen, you can get some stains on the table or something. But I am used to use it. And I will say there's something more. If you use this WD-40 here, as you use it, as the second you use it, it will smell a little bit oily. But I have knife here who are standing in my living room, and you can never smell this WD-40 here. This is a smell free, if you can say so. So I take a good amount of oil on the paper here, and try to hold so I can show you guys, and just do like this all the way around, and you can see yes, you can see the black on the towel there. This is probably from some wood liquid. When you do the WD-40, it will take this liquid off. You can see there when I have batoned with this knife here, you can take it away if you do this, but this not do nothing for me. I think it looks awesome when you can see you use the knife. And just take it like this, because a Work Tough Gear knife, they have this mirror polished edge there, and this look awesome. And just take the paper towel, be careful guys, and do like this. You have oil on it. And you can also do it like this all the way around the handle. And you can get this D10 here look a little bit more shiny, but it will dry up. Yes, this is the only thing I do, guys. I do nothing more like this. What long have this taken? Taken 3, 4, 5 minutes, 4 minutes. And you can now let this knife here sit for 2 or 3 months if you don't use it. And remember, as I have told you before, I do this 4 times a year with all my knives, even if I use them or don't use them. I do this. You will never have rust on it. So that is so easy. So I can show you what I'll do if there are some rust on it. Just give me a second, guys. Yes, sorry for that. I will take this. You can see this is black there. Let's say there are some rust here on this knife here. I just do the same thing. I take a little bit WD-40 on this here, and I will light rub it until the rust are away. Don't be, if you really, what can you say, if you like how this knife here, example, it could be any knife, but this has some etching on the blade. If you rub too much, you can take this etching away and you will have some different colors. So if you really like your knife and like to, what can you say, it still look awesome, you don't have to rub too hard to it, just a little bit. And you can see already now, don't know if you can see the black on there, I take it off. So this is a way to remove rust on your Work Tough Gear knife, guys. That's easy. And that's another thing, when I have the knife here, if you like me baton with your knife, I do that all the time. I hit it very hard here on the spine. You will almost, what can you say, take to bang the wood into the metal. You can also take something like this and do this on the spine, and what can you say, you can take the wood easy away. You will not, this knife here, almost all Work Tough Gear knives have a 90-degree spine. That's awesome. And you will not take away the spine just because you do like this, so that's no problem. But again, WD-40 and some paper and do like this, and you have no problem with rust on your Work Tough Gear knife. Yes. Yeah guys, this was a little video about how to prevent rust on your blade or take the rust off your Work Tough Gear blade or any blade you have in your collection. But of course, what can you say, something like this, 5160 here, mirror polished, you have to be a little bit more aware on this type of steel, and because it's mirror polished. And there are many things out there you can do with a knife, and I'll say there are just as many things you can do to prevent rust as there are people who have knives out there. I will say, not to sound a little bit cocky, but I have tried them all, guys. And I will say, I have tried wax, I have tried some different oils, I have bought some expensive oil to put on my knife blades and anything. But I have every single time come back to this here, because this is easy, it is fast, and it's cheap. And this works for me, guys. And I really, you know, if you have followed my channel, I am a guy who use my knives, what can you say, hard. I use them hard. There are something more, a little bit something more, I will say, I forget in the start of the video. And that is something that is cool with the Work Tough gear knives. You can take this handle off, you can screw them off. As I have mentioned, I do this if I don't use my knives, they are just hanging around or laying a drawer or something. I do this 4 times a year. I take them out 4 times a year. It's only 4 times a year. It's taking no time, guys, to take care of my knives. One of these 4 times I take my scales off, because what can I say, if I have done this 1 time and I don't use a knife, I will not do it again. But if there are some knife I use sometimes, maybe 5 or 6 times a year, something like that. One of these 4 times here, I take the scales off and what can you say, give it some WD-40 with the paper towel, just like I have done with the blade. I will do this under the scales also. And that's something, what can you say, you also get to sit with your knife, and that's also, when you buy a knife, guys, when you buy a Work Tough gear knife, it's not just only to use the knife, and you can say is this knife is a little bit, not because it have to be a full metal jacket, but what can you say, you have to take care of it also. That's something that stuck on you when you buy a knife. You have to take care of it, just like a woman, guys. You have to be soft with it, you have to be nice. You can use it hard, but you have to be nice with it also. And you have to take it up and clean it and take the scales off and give it some love, guys. If you do that, it will never rust, I promise you. You can get, I can say now, I could buy 10 of these knives here from Work Tough Gear. This Amish John here is an awesome knife. See my review on it. I could buy 10 of them with the exactly same finish and exactly same knife. I could lay that 10 knife beside each other on a table, and some of them will rust easy and some of them don't rust. Remember, guys, this is steel. They have a big plate, and when you cut some steel out, you cannot make the exactly same heat treatment, or how you treat the steel will not be 100% the same. It can never be done. It can never be done. People who say else are lying. The steel is a living material. It will do different things. Even if you treat it the same, it will do different things. So you can, if you have a friend who have this Amish John here, and you have used it the same way, maybe his will rust faster and yours will never rust, or the other way around. It is a little bit, what can you say, how the steel is being alive, if you can say so. But if you do this every time you have been out for a walk, or use your knife, or just take it outside and the temperature different, and you come home and you do this, it takes 30 seconds, and you have to take care of your knife. There will never be a problem. So I only have one thing more to say. I hope this video here could help you out. If you have any questions about rust or anything with this Work Tough gear knives here, or any knife, please ask the question in the comment, and I'll try to to answer you as the best I can. So I only have one thing more to say. Don't go hiking. Go hiking!